Ladies and gentlemen, I am here in the flesh with Bran and Dan from Deck the Hallmark. We're so excited to have you guys. Quickly, I gotta ask, how's the con going so far?
Oh, the con's fantastic. Look at all these people that care about Christmas. It's awesome. I love it.
It is blowing me away how many people are here and dressed up and just festive in a way that I just thought was only available the week of Christmas. So
I love it. I'm here for it.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Even if I wasn't here as press, I'd be here just because I love it.
We were on the way up, and he actually was like, "I'm excited to be here as a fan," and I'm like, "Wow, good for you, buddy."
Speaking of fans, what's your favorite fan comment that you guys have gotten so far at the con?
About the podcast or about? Oh my goodness.
Oh man. We had a husband and wife come up, and so I don't like the movies at all. Bran loves them. We got Panda in the middle who likes them. Okay.
He's getting a soda right now, so sorry, buddy.
My thing is I don't like the movies. Like, that's the bit. So I'm Dan, he's Bran. This husband and wife comes up and he goes, "I'm a total Bran," and then he points at his wife and goes, "She's a Dan," and she's like, "Yeah, I don't really want to be here at all." But my husband drugged me to the thing, so that's been the best one I've got.
For me, this lady today told us that we make the movies better for her, which is a really good compliment as people who talk about the movies, to add a little something to something that's already so joyful and wonderful. That means a lot.
Yeah, I think that's something really cool that podcasting can do. I host a Bachelor podcast for our TV network, which, has a huge following and candidly, some people kind of hate watch that show, but when they know they have the podcast, that's such a fun outlet for them to watch it, because it's like their friends are hanging out with them afterwards.
Totally. That was part of the reason we wanted to create the podcast. Is 3 guys. We know there's a ton of guys out there that either watch them ironically, watch them with their wives because they have to, or because they secretly like them. So for me, as somebody who loves them, I wanted to talk about it with other guys. And so to create a podcast where we're talking about something where when you think about Hallmark, you think about, that's something that a lot of females watch. Well, no, a lot of guys watch them too. And so we've been able to provide a voice to what I think a lot of guys are thinking, and we can say it, whether you love them or you despise them, we kind of give a voice.
And I think even though I say I hate the movies, which is accurate, like, we do this thing from a point of joy. Like, Christmas is about joy. So, like, even in me saying the movie wasn't good, we're having fun. Like, it's never anything personal. The actors come on the show. They seem to really love it. We have fun. Everybody we've talked to from Hallmark is such a blast. And so, like, even in our kind of snarky way, we're trying to bring joy, and that's what makes it a lot of fun.
I think so too, and there's space. What's cool about podcasting is there's space for like very earnest podcasts, and there's space for podcasts that are maybe a little more irreverent. Do you guys have those discussions of like the tone that you want to approach on the show?
Totally. So we always describe the podcast as a comedy podcast that talks about Hallmark, and not a Hallmark podcast that's funny. And I think the distinction is like we set out to make people laugh. And we do that by talking about the movies, maybe poking fun of them a little bit. But if you're looking for like a die-hard Hallmark podcast, we're maybe not the best choice. But if you're looking to laugh along with us at things that we think are really fun and bring us joy, then this is the podcast for you.
Yeah, I think you're going to get very honest criticism, which is very rare, I think, for Hallmark movies, because they all kind of get a pass in general, where he loves these movies. He really does. And so if a movie's really good, he's gonna tell you it's really good. And if it's not, we're gonna be the podcast to go, this wasn't that great. Having said that, like, we start every podcast and I say I despise the movies, but after that happens, we have a long talk about the tone we need to use, because Hallmark is uplifting and it's positive. And so even in my criticism, I do my best to sandwich it, or at least package it in a way that says, hey, I thought this was good, but why in the world do they not have their coats buttoned in the middle of winter, or whatever? Do you know what I mean? So tone is very important to us, because we don't want to alienate anyone. Love the movies, hate the movies, watch them, don't watch them. We want you to be able to come to the table and listen to our pod.
I love that. I have to ask, have you guys seen A Christmas Melody?
Yes. With Mariah Carey.
Yes. Thoughts on that one?
Ooh. So I'm convinced Mariah Carey didn't direct it. I'm hard. I will go to my grave. She did not direct it.
I have thoughts on this too.
Every scene she's in is on a green screen. I think she was there one day. She filmed all her stuff in one day, the rest in a green screen back in LA, and somehow got a directing credit. And my last thought is she literally sings the biggest Christmas song played every year on the radio. Like, All I Want for Christmas Is You is the jam. All movie long, you're like, Mariah's coming.
She's gonna sing.
Cue it up. Never happens. It never happens. How does it never happen?
Yeah, it's probably the worst cut Hallmark. There's a lot of weird cuts in this movie, but I love Brendan. He's a friend of the
Lacey
podcast.
are fun. Yeah.
Lacey's great in it, but it's just one of those movies where you're like, let's try it again. Let's do the whole thing again and see if we can come out better on the other end.
Do you guys want to hear my theory on this?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so I suspect, my thought is that she did direct it. Everything was shot. She got back to LA and hated the cuts. I think she hated the way she was lit. She hated her dialogue. Because if you notice, there are some scenes where, like, she's almost reading a different script.
Yes.
Like, I think Lacey's character says something like, well, you didn't know that the whole time. And then she says, that's right, I did. And it's just like...
Right. My theory on it is that she's never really acted before. I think she was a little bit insecure about it. I'm going to direct the movie, and then after everybody goes home, I'll say my lines.
We talked to Brennan, and he said, look, she's like a 100 millionaire movie star, billionaire, whatever, like music star, excuse me. Like he said she had things to do. Like she was coming from like a tour with Bieber, and like her whole entourage shows up, private jet, and like so he was like, as soon as she got there, she was as sweet as could be. But it's different working with someone of that caliber, and so I forgave. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't like the movie, but I forgave some of that kind of like. It was weird.
It's one of those. It's one of those. It's so bad it's good type movies. So it was great. Yeah, it's a blast.
I forgave that, but I can't forgive not including the song that she sings in the movie. Like, how did we not do that? Like, how is that? There's even a thing at the end where people are singing. Like,
she could have sung. She didn't
it's
sing.
that easy.
It would be like doing like a Full House reunion and not having Michelle Tanner say, you got it, dude.
Yeah, or that's so rude from Stephanie or whatever. Yeah, it's right. Or
Sitting there waiting for it.
Joey's like, cut. No, I'm not gonna. No, I'm done. I'm done.
Keep it going.
Cut it in.
Cut it in.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we love the show. Thank you so much. And we'll anytime you're in LA, we'll bring you in studio. Yeah, you got it, definitely.
I'll look you up on that.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to the Hallmark guys.